The second effect of making mistakes at the startup stage is a much more extreme case of financial loss, which is indebtedness, right? I experienced this almost 10 years ago when I got involved in a business that was trading refined petroleum products. I committed the deadly sin of taking the wrong kind of capital to start that business. And that did not only cause the business to crash, because the kind of capital I took was very expensive. And I hope I get to talk about it later in this course. I took an expensive type of capital because I was desperate, because I was moved by, oh, this business is going to be very profitable, it's going to make a lot of money. So it really doesn't matter how much the capital costs me. After all, this business is very lucrative and it will make a lot of money. So one thing you quickly find is that the euphoria of starting a business quickly dissipates when you start to encounter the reality of the business. It turned out the business was not as profitable as I expected. And most of the small profits we were making, we were using it to pay back the loan that we took, right? And even though we lost the business, it took me almost 4 years after the loss of that business to fully pay back that loan. It got to a point, the bank referred the loan to a recovery team, and the recovery team started reaching out. Those are not phone calls you want to get. And these recovery people they are very aggressive naturally. They can be very nasty and they can fight dirty. That's not something you want to deal with. But that is a reality of making a mistake in business. I made that mistake. We lost the business. We incurred losses, and I was still owing money. Money such that it took me almost 4 years to pay back that money, right? So these things are real. This is not theory. The most unfortunate thing about starting a business is that when you are being buoyed by the optimism, by the ecstasy of your business ideas, right? It can make you irrational sometimes, and you end up making mistakes that you will regret. And just if you use the example I just gave you, some of these mistakes you make are not ones you can quickly recover from, like indebtedness. Some people get indebted because of a business that they started that failed. They lose their house, they lose their car, they lose their investments because they pledge those things as collateral to get funding. Or they lose it to an investor because the investor is like, I'm not going to take this loss. You have to refund me. And then you have to go and start looking for assets and things like that. So it can be very, very messy. There are people who have taken their lives because they couldn't bear the shame of being indebted. They were owing several different people. And why did this happen? Because of that optimism, because of some of the unrealistic expectations they had about the business. And then the business did not perform as much as expected. But by then, you've already committed yourself. You've already taken capital you shouldn't take. You've already made promises you shouldn't make. You've already entered contracts you shouldn't have entered, right? So these things are real. And of course, number 3 on that list is not surprising. There is a level of emotional and psychological pain and torture that comes with failing in business. On a personal note, it tends to affect your self-confidence because, when you're about to start a business, there's that confidence you have. I'm going to start this business. In the first year, we're going to make 1 million. In the second year, we're going to grow to 5 million. In the third year, we're going to grow to 20 million. You have all this, you're buoyed by the enthusiasm, by the optimism, only for you to start the business and the business deflates your confidence. So one of the first things that will suffer for many people is your mental health. There's no way you are indebted and you're owing people that your mental health will not suffer. There's no way you are suffering financial losses that it will not affect you emotionally and psychologically, right? If you're interested in learning more about the topics I offer when it comes to starting, building, and growing a business, this is your opportunity to join my community. It's known as the BMG. I provide extensive courses on different topics and challenges that afflict business owners, from how to optimize your profits, how to manage costs, how to boost your sales, how to develop processes, how to scale your business. There's a whole lot that I can teach you. If you want to go deeper into my content, this is your chance. Go to the link on your screen right now, jointhebmg.com.